logging in. Oh, yes. This one is about to kick. Oh, it's Russian. Really, three. Those are jams.
I haven't even shared the link.
Attention, 11 attention. The match between Aden, Joseph and Kelvin is now starting. The other final will start at 21:00 hours. Joseph needs a bit of rest, then he will come and play at 9.
Pila. What's actually what is going to happen is it's only 7 minutes and we'll switch. 330.
Yeah. See how many are there now?
439. From 339 to 437. No comment. Akwenda kubibiti. Right on the passage. Where is it? Which one?
This one came. Messages of friends came. This one. Straight.
Okay, that one. It's charming.
Start sharing.
Should I call him?
Just ask. I used to come comment. Just ask. I saw him.
Yeah, I saw you. Eight.
Actually, come inside.
You get inside.
Uh, Good evening, viewers. If you just joined us, it's the second live fest final between Kelvin Kandu and Aiden Joseph. The winner of this match, remember, will meet Joseph Kasozi or Caesar Chandiga in the grand final. It is the first frame, and Aiden just missed a black ball there. Fikot is on the reds, trying to go for a clearance here, which is pretty much doable. And playing with a lot of poise, buoyed by his recent win over Joseph Kasozi in the second live semi-final. Fikot to look to play with a drawback, does exactly that. Look to pot mid to right pocket with his white ball moving, doesn't move, goes for a stop shot. Fikot to look to pot with the drawback, cue ball moving towards the top end of the table. That's very good shooting from Kelvin Kandu. Look to have the white ball go over the rail and go back again. This should be an easy clearance from Kelvin Fikoti, and he's looking to draw first blood in this second live first final. Kelvin Fikoti, and the crowd applauds him. 1-0 Kelvin Fikoti Kandu in the lead in this second live first final. So this is the battle of Southern Africa. Kelvin Fikoti representing Zambia, from Zambia with love, Lusaka. That is Aiden Joseph representing South Africa from Johannesburg with love. And Aiden Joseph, very dangerous in a double live competition. Lost his first live yesterday to Royd Kabwe, the Zambian. Is he going to lose his second live to another Zambian? It is a good break from Aiden Joseph. Sifas Boemwa says Aiden is winning no matter what. Zach Pizzo says, come on Fikoti. Fahim Ibrahim, take your time, Aiden. Remember to share, like, subscribe. The name of the account is Q Pixels Photography, and I'm your host today. Mtoz Ngulube is my name. Aiden Joseph with an unforced error there, but the cue ball position is not so favorable for Kelvin Fikoti, will look to pot probably.
So left one, final is about
Fikoti will look to pot top right pocket with top spin, does exactly that. Obviously he had that ball stuck towards the rail in mind, but his cue ball is a little bit short. He's contemplating just going around the table, and Brian Luando says, I saw Aiden asking for phone number from the umpire. Okay, that's a good one. Ngulube in Uganda means a pig. It also means the same in Zim, but I'm a very clean pig. It's a Kosafa affair for Rote Mwaji Singala. Both guys hail from Southern Africa, and Southern Africa is rest assured to have a place in the final. And Uganda obviously will have a say in that in terms of who walks away with the grand prize. 15,000 United States dollars up for grabs, remember. Fikot look to pot and displace Aiden's ball at the center pocket, does exactly that, and also opens up the 8 ball in the process. He shoots with aplomb. Fikoti looks to have the beat between his teeth, and when he's playing this ball, Fikoti generally means hard shot. So I've been told it's a whip also. It also means a whip, and Kelvin Fikoti did hit a hard shot there to displace Aiden off the middle pocket, and also in the process opening up the problematic 8 ball, which was Fikoti will look to pot with the drawback here. Does exactly that. The sequence almost does complete itself. He'll look to pot to the middle left pocket with top spin. Does that, and he'll look to pot top left pocket with a drawback, so as to have good sight of the 8 ball. Kelvin Fikoti going for the finish. That's a very good drawback. Fikoti. It should be and ease. Fikoti 2, Aiden Joseph 0. The cost is going to be given a good run for his money here. Fikoti looks to be very serious, and he looks to mean serious business here. Aiden Joseph is going to be given a good run for his money. He is a man who has come so short at the very vital stage of most tournaments, just failing to cut it at the business end of the tournaments, coming short, losing in the semi-finals, several semi-finals that he's lost over the years, and at times bowing out in the last 8, making it to the final in some instances, but victories have been few and far between for Kelvin Fikoti. Is the picture going to change today? They love him in Zimbabwe, and that's mostly down to him touring the country on several occasions, playing a lot of money matches with the local boys, and traveling with Iribanya Yoyo as his right-hand man for most of those matches. I know he's watching from elsewhere, Stanley Ngwenya. Fikoti fails to pot on his break. That's a dry break. You don't want to be inviting back Aiden onto the table, because Aiden almost certainly will punish you, and the way the balls are looking, it looks like it's a frame that's pretty much there for the taking. The 4 problematic reds are the ones closest to the 8 ball, but then Aiden will look to pot and displace some of them and open them up. It's not so easy, but then these guys always seem to see things that we don't see. Aiden going for a very rare insurance shot. Is it the year for the underdogs? Everyone is predicting an Aiden Joseph and Caesar grand final, but Joseph Kasoze and Kelvin Fikoti are obviously going to have a say in that, and it looks like both men mean serious business now. Joseph Kasoze has edged into the lead on the main table. He leads by 1 frame to 0 against Caesar Chandiga, and Fikoti leading the ghost by 2 frames to 0. Is he going to look to pot with a combination shot? Contemplates, sees it, decides against doing that. Probably is just checking where to position the 8 ball, the cue ball rather, after potting. Fikoti is going for the skill shot, yeah. Pots with top spin. That's very good cueing from Kelvin Fikoti Nkandu. This is a frame that is pretty much there for the taking. It is a very good crowd here. Everyone is set and everyone is behaving very well, and the arena is very professional, and it is the Patriarch Pool Tournament, the 2nd edition. The inaugural competition was held last year. Up to 15,000 United States dollars up for grabs. Good putting from Kelvin. He'll look to pot when you have the cue ball stay there, so that you can pot the yellow that is also in the D zone there. Obviously having cue ball move towards the bottom of the table with a lot of side spin, just like that. And he'll look to pot with side spin as well, with a bit of drawback towards the left side of the table. Oh, snookers himself in the process. There was a slight kiss on Aiden's 8 ball. It is 1-0 on the first table. Caesar has managed to claw his way back into this race. The ghost spots and develops the other red ball, and the crowd rightfully applauds him. Position of the cue ball is also brilliant. This is a frame that you feel the ghost to obviously try and win here. The ghost also develops the other two reds. Not so sure he developed them the exact way he wanted to, but it's still okay because he can pot to the bottom right of the table or pot to the left side of the table. Tinashe Muti saying Fikot is in the form of his life. He's been playing very well. Ghost pots. Looks like he's going to go for either the mid or left pocket. Displacing the black ball low, so as to get good side of the last red. No need to even displace the 8 ball. Aden, Joseph is in ghost mode now. It is at night. You expect the ghost to pounce. Two-one, Aiden Joseph fights back. Brian Luando says Ghost is Zambian to just move to South Africa. The Ghost breaking to try and restore parity. It is a good break. Most of these breaks are very good from Aiden Joseph. He is a guy you don't want to be inviting back onto the table. Anele Amambo says Woza Spogo, which translates to Woza Ghost. Come on, Ghost. Abongile Fish says he ghost, come man. Don't F around. Tell us your predictions. How do you think this one is going to end? Matches between the two have ended in Aiden's favor much more often than not. Kelvin Fikoti, like I mentioned, it's been a matter of so close yet so far over the years, failing to get beyond the crossing line. Is it going to be the umpteenth time lucky for the Zambian? Aiden fails to pot and invites Fikoti back onto the table. You don't want to be doing that because these guys are very lethal. These guys pot with poise. These guys are imperious when it comes to their potting. The cue ball looks just stops at the right time for Fikoti, and he nods his head because he knows how close it was. It was so close, so tight are the margins. They're very close, and Fikoti biting his luck there. He knows it was so close. The margins can be so tight at times. The difference between losing a frame and potentially losing a game and winning it is so thin, and there is no margin for error, especially when you're playing pool at the highest level. Fikoti will try to look and go for the finish here by potting all four heads and going on to the 8 ball. He'll look to pot mid to right pocket, mid to left pocket rather, with cue ball moving in the opposite direction, just like that. It hasn't moved enough. Not so sure he's happy with the movement of the 8 ball, but there is a possibility of a connection shot, a combination shot between the two reds. One going in off the other, just like that. Does he have good sight of the 8 ball? Joseph Mwenda says 9-7 Fikoti. Aiden all the way from Peter Peterson. And 9-1 from Moobs. I don't know if that's realistic. Kelvin is the best rising star from Steve Luce and Jamaronga. I put money on Fikoti. Looks like people are spoiled for choice, yeah, in terms of who they're going for. Fikoti just but manages to pot, hitting the jaws of the pocket on his way in there. Onto the 8 ball. He has to manipulate the cube so that it doesn't go in, obviously. Fikoti does exactly that. It's 3-1 Kelvin. On table 1, it's Caesar leading by 2 frames to 1 in an all Ugandan affair. You can watch that match on Emmanuel Makandiwa live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Fikoti breaking to try and extend his lead over the Ghost to 3 frames. It is a dry break from Fikoti, and it is an invitation back to the table for the Ghost. An invitation he will gladly accept with both hands and look to reduce the areas here. And he looks to do so by playing the yellows. If there is ever a player who's got nerves of steel when the going gets tough and when you think he's got his back against the wall and things are not going his way, and obviously then gives you that wry smile and a low shake of the head and you think you're safe, and before you know it, he strikes you twice. It is the Ghost. Pots with aplomb. I have to admit, these two are 2 of my favorite players in pool in Africa. Fikoti is the first international player I watched play pool when he toured Zimbabwe for the 2nd time, and I just fell in love with the Ghost. These are 2 of the best and 2 of my favorite players in Africa, so I'm just watching as a neutral. I have to be one as a commentator, obviously. I don't have to be choosing sides. It is a match that I'm glad to do commentary on, and only imagine what can happen. Aiden Joseph with the killer shot. He's got sight of both the yellows. Looks like he'll go top right first with right side. Goes with a drag shot, not right side English. Then he maintains a cue ball for the last of the yellows, which will pot, and the black ball, the 8 ball, looks to be potted middle left pocket. It is the Ghost, ladies and gentlemen. Pull is an art, and the Ghost is an artist at work. Aiden Joseph 2, Kelvin Fikoti Nkandu 3. Aiden Joseph breaking to try and restore parity in this match. It is a dry break, and the way the Reds look, you think Kelvin will go for the finish here. Nicole Boyson says, let's go Aiden Joseph. Tuso says Ghost with 5 emojis. Lenyuga Chetty, you're doing a good job on the commentary. Thank you so much. thank you. You're also a commentator, and it means a lot coming from you. Obviously, game recognizes game. Thank you so much. Let's see how this one is going to pan out. It is nail-biting stuff, and don't dare take your eyes off this one. Fikoti, as was predicted, goes for the Reds. You look to pot to the bottom right pocket with top spin to have good sight of the red that is on the rail, bottom left pocket, which you'll look to pot with cue ball moving in the direction of all the other reds at the top of the table. Just like that. Which card goes first? Decisions. For Kelvin, looks like he'll pot to the top left first. Cue ball naturally moving towards the right. Just like that. Look to do a combination shot, throwing back the cue ball so as to replicate another combination shot. That is very good cueing from Kelvin Fikoti. Look to pot with cue ball bouncing off the cushion and coming towards the left bottom of the pool table. Just like that. This should be a finish from Kelvin Fikoti Kandu. And if he plays well, he will look to reclaim his 2-frame lead against the Ghost here. Kelvin Fikoti Kandi 4, Aiden Joseph 2.
Very good,
Good commentary watching from Northern Ireland, Kulule Gomgari. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, like and share our page. You are the ones who give us the strength to continue doing the job that we love the most, which is do a job behind the mic. Then Fikoti dry breaks. The amount of dry breaks in this match has been worrying in some instances because both players look to have left their breaking cues at home, you'd most think. First neutral commentator, thank you, Kanya Chabalala Mvumvu. That means a lot to me. The cost. Choosing to go for the yellows, obviously you have that yellow that is closest to the red in the back of his mind. Is he going to go for it now or look to develop the cue ball in such a way that it comes the cost to look to pot middle pocket. I thought I was going to try and displace one of the reds there. No need to do that, probably doing so as to have good control of the cue ball. You look to pot to the top left pocket with the cue ball naturally bouncing off the top rail. He's contemplating maybe potting the middle right with the cue ball moving towards the left of the pocket so that he can address that problematic yellow ball that is closest to the two reds at the bottom of the table. Decisions need to be made and the margins are very thin. This is where the match is either won or lost for most people, decision making. Aiden chooses to go for the former rather than the latter shot. Playing into the drawback, he'll look to go back to the same pocket. Cue ball naturally bouncing off the rail. just like that, and he leaves himself with a sharp cut. He'll look to play with a side spin. Cubo naturally moving towards the left side of the table so that he can pot on the bottom right. He's just giving himself time to look and check. Just like that. That's very good. A short potting from the ghost. He'll look to pot to the bottom right pocket. Cue ball moving backwards. This is a very good shot from the ghost. Aiden Joseph 3, Kelvin Kandu 4. This is some nail biting stuff. Don't take your eyes off this one. Once you blink, you're left behind. It is a final for the ages. It is a Kosafa final. And the stream has reached 2,709 views. Thank you for the support. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Thank you so much, people from all over the world. Thank you so much, Africa. I noticed there are people also watching from Europe as well. Northern Ireland was mentioned on the comments. I'm sure a lot of people are watching from all parts of the world. Thank you, Masimba Muduri. Nice commentary, hearing you clearly from Bindura. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think is going to come out tops here? This is edge of the seat stuff, I tell you. On the first table, it's Caesar Chandiga 3, Kasozi Joseph 2. It is also tightly contested, just like this match is. The ghost just gives himself time to contemplate and will look to pot to the top right pocket with a drawback. Does exactly that. Also look to pot to the same exact pocket with cue ball moving towards the bottom side of the table. Nuno Gomez is watching from Liverpool. Thank you so much, Nuno Gomez. Are you by any means related to the Nuno Gomez, the footballer? I believe not. And there's a comment coming through saying once the ghost takes the lead, it's over for Kelvin. It's been what has been happening over the years. Once the ghost edges in front, nothing can stop him. He can mean to be so serious and he can seem to be so ruthless. And you're also watching from the UK, Kudakwashim Shoriwa. Thank you so much for liking and for watching. Is Parker still in? Norman Mudadi asking. Parker lost his first life to Caesar Chandiga by 9 frames to 0 in the semi-final, and he also lost his second life to Stephen Paswani by 9 frames to 5. So Parker has exited the competition. Aiden Joseph going for the finish here. Almost scratches the cue ball, but so close yet so far. The margins are that tiny, and the cost should draw a level here. Aiden Joseph 4, Kelvin Kandu 4. Is it a case of deja vu for Kelvin Kandu? He's been there before, he's seen the picture. Is he going to get that monkey off his back? Is he going to eventually take off? There's a message coming from Alexander Musanda. Commentator, please shout my name. Is there any money and are there any prizes for doing that? Okay, fine, I eventually did that. Thank you for watching, Alexander. 4-4, it is some nail biting stuff. Calvin Pendi, thank you for watching from India. It looks like we've got very good geographical representation on our views here. People are watching the world over. Fikoti Nkandu with a very good break there, which has been a rarity in this match because most of them have been dry breaking for most parts of the match. And he only has one thing on his mind to finish by break and finish. Ghost mode activated from Thabo Ngwenya. It is at night. I'm sure there are no prizes for guessing what time a ghosts are most dangerous at. Someone is saying I'm watching from Mars. Okay, I'll give you benefit of doubt. Obviously, the coming of Starlink, you never know. You probably connected watching from Mars. Can you send some receipts? We want to see if you really are watching from Mars. Fikoti will look to pot. Left middle pocket. Decides against that. Solomon says, can you explain this first life and second life? Okay, a single player is given 2 chances to play, so they play in 2 rounds of play, so all players have 2 lives. If you win until the final, both your lives will still be intact. So in this case, all players have lost at least one of their lives and all players have got 1 intact life. So there's only going to be 1 grand final. The winner of the Aiden Joseph and Kelvin Fikoti match is going to face the winner of the Joseph Kasozi and Caesar match. Very good queuing from Fikoti. You look to is he able to do a drawback? I'm not so sure because of the position of the 8 ball. Almost does distract him in terms of in the first match. Caesar is age clear. It's now 4 Caesar, 2 Joseph Kasozi. It is 4-4 in this match. Obviously we started some 10 or so minutes earlier than the first final, so this match should complete earlier. If you got to look to part of the drawback, does exactly that, which is very risky considering the position of the 8 ball. These guys are perfectionists. At times they play like okay, we're changing the mic. Look, Fikoti fails to pot. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Aiden will look to pot his red and displace the 8 ball. Does exactly that. You don't want to be bringing Aiden Joseph back onto the table. Happiness Nube says, please don't hate on the commentator. Thank you, Happy, for fighting in my corner. We're sorting out the mic. I think we just have a technicality there. Aiden Joseph definitely going for the kill, yeah. Aiden Joseph will look to pot and have cue ball moving naturally towards the middle of the pocket. And he'll look to pot to the middle right pocket. Does Aiden have good sight of the 8 ball? I'm not so sure there. The Ghost chocks. And he fails to pot there.
Asking if we can put your phone on silent. One, yeah. Mas não filtra,
Kelvin Picotti 5, Aiden Joseph 4. How's the mic sounding now? Our technician, Mr. Francis Munkwekwe, has tried to do the job on the mic. Tell us in the comment section how's the mic sounding now. Picotti, so unfortunate. I'm not so sure he intended to play that double shot. Almost leaves him in a spot of bother. But he obviously has that out ball, bring the one to the top left of the pocket, and he also has a few other balls that are scattered in and around the 8 ball. I'm thinking he doesn't want to give Aiden a chance to come back to the table, so he'll look to pot top left pocket. Joseph Kasozi has managed to win 1 frame back on our first match, and it's Caesar 4, Kasozi Joseph 3. It is Kelvin 5, Aiden 4 in this match, and Ficotti fails to pot, and you don't want to be making those unforced errors when you're playing a player the size and might of the Ghost Aiden Joseph. So ruthless, so unforgiving. Almost certainly makes you pay for the mistakes that you make. Thank you, Mnyarazi, for saying it's now sounding good. The Ghost will look to pot middle left pocket with cue ball naturally moving backwards. And look to pot top right pocket. Cue ball also moving backwards. And you almost certainly look to complete all the balls top side of the table before coming to the bottom side of the table where the 8 ball is. He is a player with a very good pattern, much more often than not, and he's a player who's able to get himself out of trouble if ever need be. Very good potting from the Ghost. Look to pot bottom left pocket, cue ball bouncing off the rail and naturally moving towards the middle of the table, and you can also pot bottom right with a drawback, so that he can put bottom left pocket. Aiden Joseph 5, Kelvin Fikoti Nkando 5. Don't take your eyes off this one. We're now going for a short break, as is tradition. At the 10th frame, we go for a break.
Kelvin
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was
Yeah.
people still come.
Still remaining with one session for the final. Are you streaming it?
Yeah. But I think I'll set up that. Aden season.
Yeah, it's a good
Current
and yeah. I'm not going to stream it now. We are given on you cannot put it. Maybe if I say I don't like cameras, I like this one. Okay, let's make sure it's okay. So like I always in South Africa. And Peter obviously can't go same side as Peter. You guys have to. It's like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Someone is asking who's streaming the Caesar match. It's live on Emmanuel Makandiwa, the Facebook page. Emmanuel Makandiwa is the Patriarch who's sponsoring this pool tournament. It is for his birthday. We'll come back. The short break has just ended. We are back where we started. It's 5-0. It is a rest 9. A maximum of 7 frames left to go. And believe me, you're in for quite a treat here. Fikoti playing the Reds here. The scores on the Caesar match, it's Caesar 6, Kasozi 3. That is a match that is turning into a one-sided affair, and the pendulum has swung in Caesar's favor, and they are on a short break now. Aden is in a bit of some trouble here. He ports with ease and develops the other yellow. Aiden Joseph. Oh my, oh my. What are you doing, Aiden? And the whole crowd, oohs and ahs. Pull is an art. Aiden Joseph is an artist at work. Aiden Joseph looking to pot.
Tell them to remove the subtitles on their phones. They go to settings. They should remove from there.
Someone is saying we should remove subtitles. That is Kelvin. You should remove the subtitles from your phone. We can't do it for you. So if you go on your phone on the settings, you can actually remove the subtitles yourself. Panache, some things are very left unsaid. You heard the gossip during the break. You're the only one who had it. I'm sure most people didn't. Leander saying grand final will be Aiden versus Caesar. That will be something. I'm sure that is the people's choice for the grand final, and it is what the crowd is yearning for. It is what everyone wants to see. The hot, raging debate between who's Africa's top player, Caesar Chandiga or Aiden Joseph. It is a debate that will rage on year after year after year. You can almost liken it to the huge battles, the Cristiano Ronaldo versus Leo Messi battle, the Kylian Mbappe versus Lamine Yamal. I know that's a new battle. Kylian Mbappe versus Erling Haaland. You can liken it to Roger Federer versus Rafael Nadal. That's a debate that you can have all day long in terms of who's better, Aiden Joseph or Caesar Chandiga. We can talk all night about that, but then for now, let's get finished with this match. It has been a good watch thus far. It is slowly turning into a tactical frame. Fikotti deciding against being offensive there. I think he's got that 8 ball that is closest to the middle right pocket in his mind. Fikotti can look to go for a combination shot with white ball naturally moving towards the right. Elects against going for that shot and looks to close up where Aiden's ball is. That is a very good shot in hindsight from Fikotti, and it is a very tactical shot from him. What does the Ghost have up his sleeve here? The Ghost looking to play a total snooker there. Very rarely do you see Aiden Joseph being this defensive, but then time and again Aiden Joseph always shows us the other side to his game, and in not so Aiden Joseph like fashion, he goes for the defense. Fikotti just manages to kiss one of his balls and turns out to be a snooker, and the crowd oohs and ahs. Aiden Joseph being given a test of his own medicine. It's almost a case of what you can do, Aiden, I can do better from Kelvin Fikotti. The Ghost is searching. And the Ghost fails to find. It is a free shot and a visit for Fikotti. Not so sure I would like that particular shot because of you try to play a snooker off the bottom rail onto his own ball, and it is another snooker from Fikotti. And Scott says, touch, you can't win against the Ghost. I don't think so. I'm not so sure. Don't think that's one of his strengths. He is good at tactical matches and tactical frames, but then Fikotti, has he decided enough is enough and is he going for the finish here? He can look to do so by drawing the cue ball backwards. It gives himself time to go for it. You don't want to make any funny mistakes here. No time for schoolboy errors, because once you do that, you run the risk of being punished. Fikotti looking to part with drawback. Don't think it's a very good shot because of the position of the 8 ball, unless he plays another shot to try and develop it. Oh, someone is asking where is Ganda Ganda. He's in the crowd. He is Ganda Ganda watching, and so is Pila Mazambani. And for the very first time, Pila Mazambani is quiet when Aiden is playing. It is the arena, very professional, and he is so quiet. Fikotti with a tactical shot that displaces one of his reds. Yes. Aiden Joseph looks like he's going to pot and go for the double. I know he trusts his potting ability from bank shots. Embrace for a ghost shot. The ghost misses. He rarely misses those. Usually very reliable when it comes to bank shots is the ghost. Raja Naidu asking how's this ref. It looks like they also like the umpire. She's getting quite a lot of likes in the comment section there. Fikotti looks to try and edge clear. In this match, that is very good. An assured cueing from Kelvin Fikotti, and it should be Kelvin Fikotti 6, Aiden Joseph 5, and indeed is. The ghost with an unwanted dry break. We're getting to the business end of this match, and you don't want to be so unfortunate to make dry breaks. And Puzela says Pila will start saying soon, here we go, Aiden, here we go. I don't think he's going to do that. The atmosphere is not permitting that. Remember to send stars and boost our page. Like, comment, subscribe, send stars. Q Pixels Photography. Remember to send stars. Show some love for us. Fikotti just but manages to look to pot with left side English. Try the rail drive with cue ball naturally moving from the rail. Now look to pot middle left pocket. Fikotti means serious business here. And he's got the beat between his teeth. Pots with a plum. I'm not so sure he's happy with the position of the cue ball. It's a snooker. The cue ball stuck between the jaws of the pocket, and Fikotti shakes his head in dismay. Oh my, how thin these margins are. Obviously, there's a possibility of a swerve shot, but will he be able to pot with it? Ficoti doesn't seem to have sight of any of his red balls, and Ficoti will try and play a swerve shot there. Does play swerve, but doesn't manage to pot. Almost pot. The ghost has been given a lifeline, yeah. After 1 hour of play, the two Southern African giants are only separated by a single frame. This is a race to 9, both playing their last lives. Margin of safety almost reduced, and that is a drawback from the cost. Aden with the yellow on the bottom rail in the back of his head. I'm thinking he's going for the finish here. Can look to pot and displace one of Ficoti's reds that stuck close to the pocket to open up space for the other yellow that is at the bottom of the table. As a look. Sieta Ramolula says we give them hope and take it back. And that's a very good shot as predicted from Aiden Joseph. This is a frame that has been hanging on the balance for a very long time here, and the ghost. Aiden Joseph will look to ports and opens up. What a shot from the ghost. What a shot from the ghost. Is it a stroke of luck at times, or some of these things are all planned? Not so sure at times, because how inch perfect it is at times, you wonder, is there a bit of luck in some of these things? Cue ball stuck in between the balls. It is a snooker for Aiden Joseph. Too much background noise. We're trying to put noise cancelers and noise cancellation, but we can't do anything. We can't almost certainly share the crowd. Aiden Joseph pots, manages to put the ball by the pocket, not pot, but he leaves Kelvin in a spot of bother. It is a snooker of some sort, and on table 1, it is Caesar Shandiga 7, Joseph Kasozi 5. Ficoti, that's a well-calculated shot. He searches and he snookers Aiden. Snooker for snooker. It used to be apple for apple, but now it looks like the pendulum has swung in a different direction altogether. It's now a snooker for snooker. It's almost a case of what you can do, Aiden, I can do better. Aiden Joseph knows that margin of error is almost reduced. Remember, he's already framed down here and he doesn't want to make any mistakes. He's very good at searching. When you see that right smile, and when you see that nod of the head from Aiden, you know trouble is coming, because much more often than not, he always gets himself out of trouble. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve here. Using his left hand to try and search here is Aiden. That is a good search from Aiden, using his left hand, almost potting in the process. With his left hand, Aiden Carl Joseph. What a search with his left hand. Oh my, oh my. Does it mean he's two-handed? Please don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. Ficoti manages to pot. Position of the cue ball is not the best, but obviously it gives him another opportunity to maybe try and pot. Middle pocket. Is he going to try and pot off the 8 ball, or is going to go directly for it? Ficoti. Ficoti with the near miss, and it looks to be Aiden Joseph's frame to lose from this point onwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a final for the ages. Aiden Joseph 6, Kelvin Ficoti Kando 6. We are back where we started after 1 hour, 7 minutes and 32 seconds of play. Looks like Aiden Joseph has gotten some fans in the crowd. Some people are calling him Tano, which translates to brother-in-law. Don't know why they're saying that. Probably it's because the umpire is of the same race as him or what. And they're saying the umpire is Aiden Joseph's sister. Ficoti with an unwanted dry break. You don't want to be making these errors at the business end of the race, and Sam Hilo says your network is trash. Well, sorry, we're just using network from the venue. Apologies for that. Hopefully it will get better. Sorry for the network, guys. It's not our fault. Some of these things are beyond our control. We want to bring the best streams to you guys. It is what we do for a living. Please bear with us. Aiden Joseph going for the finish here. Aiden is going to go for a double drop. Cue ball moving backwards. Oh, fails to pots. Oh my. And he's almost shocked to say, how did I fail to execute that? Invites Ficoti back onto the table. And on table 1, it's Caesar Chandiga 8, Joseph Kasozi 5. Kelvin Ficoti has gotten a second chance and he'll go for the kill here. Ficoti looking to pot. Mid right pocket. Cubo naturally moving towards the bottom of the table just like that. Look to pot. Bottom left pocket. Cubo being drawn backwards so that he can go back to the exact same pocket. But the network is working well. We're actually streaming with the phone to the side of ours. Kanyisa, the network is working well now. I think you should check the network on your end. Ficoti looking to pot. Middle left. Does exactly that. Ficoti look to pot with a drawback. Then come to the bottom right pocket. Just like that. And he will look to pot with cue ball bouncing off the rail. And going backwards for him to pot. Mid right pocket. Should be Kelvin Ficoti Kandu. 7. Aiden Joseph 6. This is some nail biting stuff. The first match, Caesar Chandika is through to the grand final. He's guaranteed 4,000 United States dollars, at least for now. He's through to the first final. Remember, he won a car in Uganda 2 days back. Tease an unwanted dry break from the ghost. And you don't want to get Kelvin going to the heel first here. Yeah, we're also streaming with the phone by our side to check if the network is good. The network is good this side, so I'm actually shocked you guys are saying the network is bad. Because Francis is using his phone, he's just next to me, trying to stream to see if there's anything wrong with the network. And the network is flawless, so I don't know, but apologies for that. And the stream is on 3,300 people, and I'm sure only a few are complaining. Maybe you should check your network, your end.
Results from first live final.
Aiden Joseph Brock dry here.
9-5 against Joseph Kasozi. So now we are waiting for another finalist from second live final that is coming the other way between Aden Joseph and Kelvin Ficoti.
Ficoti looks to have made up his mind on the yellows, and he plays and develops 2 of the yellows in the process. That's very good cueing from Kelvin. I've never seen him playing this well in a very long time, and at times usually plays well at the start of these races and then almost dies out towards this stage of the match. But it looks like he has addressed those errors and he's got the bit between his teeth.
Pick and Kandu looking to pot. Bottom right pocket. He'll go for the combination shot now. Fikoti looking to get to the heel first, yeah. Misses that combination shot. Was trying to kiss off Aiden's Red Bull and missed there. Oh my. Inviting the ghost back onto the table. The ghost only needs a single invitation and body shot from the ghost. He's got a way out now. The ghost. Not so sure he's happy with the position of the 8 ball there, of the cue ball rather. Looks like he wants to go for it. What are you doing, Aiden? Wow. What cueing from the ghost. He saw a gap between the jaw and Kelvin's ball. The ghost with a typical ghost shot. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. The ghost is at work and stuck outside. What does Aiden Joseph have up his sleeve? It looks like he'll try and pot the red ball in between 3 of the reds towards the bottom left pocket. Does he have good side of that one? And oh, almost does. In the process, developing the other red. Pot does the ghost. He was coming from a very difficult position. Fikoti.
It was okay. Still moving. 5K.
Okay. The ghost with a defensive shot of some sorts. Not so sure if it's that defensive. It should be okay. Kelvin has got that yellow towards the right rail of the table that needs some developing, and Kelvin not so sure if he'll be happy with that shot because one of his yellow is now stuck next to a red. This is slowly turning out to be a tactical frame, and I'm sure the ghost would have liked to have the cue ball move towards the right of the table and make it difficult for Kelvin to have sight of most of his yellows and have him open up the red that is closest to the yellow. A lot of permutations going on the table. What a shot from Fikoti. That's a shot. I'm sure he'll try and pot and open up the yellow that is closest to the red ball, just like he pointed his cue there. Look to pot and cannon and grab this match by the scruff of its neck, and Fikochi does pot and manages to open up a bit. Not what he thought entirely intended, but then he should be fine. Look to pot bottom left and then pot bottom right. Then go on to the 8 ball and get to the heel first. If he plays so well, it should be Fikochi 8. Aiden Joseph 6 in this match. Fikochi playing the final of his life, playing the match of his life here. And it looks like he's got the beating of Aiden Joseph, at least so far. It should be Kelvin Fikochi 8. Aiden Joseph 6. Very good cueing from Fikochi. And Aiden Joseph nods his head in approval. Richard, some of these things really, Richard, with all due respect, some of these things, do you really have to be saying such things on a live stream? But anyway, it's fine. Thank you for that, and may the good Lord bless you. Richard Munendra. Kelvin Fikochi is on the hill now, and he'll look to finish this one up. Fikochi looks to be going for the yellows, yeah. Kelvin doesn't have to bring back the cost onto the table because Aiden Joseph wants to give him a chance to come back on the table. You're only asking for trouble. Fikochi would go for the rail shot, top left of the pocket, and Cubo naturally bounce off the rail. Just but pots does Fikochi with a stroke of luck there. Fikochi will have that yellow that's stuck closest to the 8 ball in the back of his mind. That needs a bit of developing, and he needs to play the frame of his life here if he is to take down the cost, because you don't want to bring back the cost onto the table, and he doesn't want to leave it as his last shot and without an escape route. Pots. Fikochi looks to be in trouble here. I'm not so sure they've wanted that shot to go. Oh my, misfortune always follows the unfortunate. That double drop was not his intention. He would have wanted to leave the yellow that dropped the last two, try and use it to draw the cue ball in his direction, and it looks like Aiden Joseph is going to be given a chance to come back on the table unless we see a very unlikely shot from Fikochi, and he's going for a cut to the bottom left pocket there. The cut he executes so well. That's a huge shot from Kelvin Fikochi. He looks to be playing the frame of his life. He's going to go down with the fight. Is Fikochi. He's playing so well with Kelvin Fikoti. That's very good cueing from the Zambian. From Lusaka with love. Look to pot with draw back and go to the middle right pocket. Fails to pot, does Fikoti. And that's a wry smile from Fikoti. I think that pocket is a problematic pocket because I saw Aiden hitting the jaws of the pocket. Is it the players or whatever it is? I don't know. But Fikoti a bit unlucky there. Aiden with an invitation to come back on the table. An invitation he will gladly accept with both hands. And Aiden knows his life is hanging by the skin of his teeth, and Spencer saying Rasta game right in away. I'm not taking sides. It's Aiden's fan who's sat by my side here. I mentioned at the top of the rest to say these two are my favorite players in Africa, and I surely can't pick a side here. I love them both equally the same way. The first professional player I saw play pool is Kelvin Fikoti Nkandu, and I also fell in love with the Ghost, and I love them both the exact same way. Position of the cue ball, it's a bit short. And Aiden looks to the skies. Oh my. Tapiwazi is Polo all the way. Aiden goes for a tactical shot and leaves Fikoti with sight of one of his balls, and there is no possibility of a combination shot. He'll try and go for a snooker. 50 does snooker, and Aiden claps on the table. Aiden knows that's a very good shot from Fikoti. Fikoti's got the beat between his teeth here, and it looks like he's got the beating of Aiden Joseph. Shot from Aiden Joseph, and the Ghost comes to life, and the crowd is shocked. That's a Ghost shot from Aiden Joseph. From a snooker, even the umpire is smiling. Aiden Joseph will go for the real drive. Aiden Joseph fails to pot. It looks like Fikoti is going to go for the kill here. Looks like Fikoti is going for the kill here. It is tense in the arena. Everyone is silent. And Fikoti knows. Looks like Fikoti. Fikoti looks to be going for the kill here. It should be Kelvin Fikoti Nkandu 9, Aiden Joseph 6. Fikoti makes it to the final. And Aiden Joseph closing. Well played, Kelvin Fikoti Kandu 9, Aiden the Ghost Joseph 6. Aiden Joseph bows out and doesn't make it to the grand finale. It is going to be Kelvin Fikoti Kandu taking on Caesar Chandiga in the grand final.